What's going on, YouTube? Happy Saturday to everybody. Welcome, guys. Hey, Miss Dutchie. Wow, that was a nice surprise to see that. Thank you very much. $20 donation is much appreciated. Goes a long way to help people. And we got last known beer. The real fear is I'd split their ass. We have a big Herc fan in the house. No harm with that. Thank you, Miss Dutchie. That's amazing. That's really sweet of you. I really do appreciate it. And we've got about 60 seconds here, and we're going to kick off into it. Until then, make sure you subscribe, share, like my channel. Also, make sure you text the word YouTube to 35074. And also, check me out over on VidMe if you haven't already done so. It's another platform that's, best way I can explain it is it's similar to YouTube. And here is the link to VidMe. So there you go. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. Just going to try to give a little upbeat message today on Saturday. Oh, as you guys can see, I've got Emma here with me. I don't even know if you notice her. Emma's over here chilling on the microphone. But yeah, we still plan on releasing her. She's just she's eating, she's flying, but she's not really drinking water on her own yet. So we're going to give her another couple days. Huh, Emma? But man, having a bird's a pain in the ass when you're not equipped to handle a bird, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guessing. But she's cool. All right, guys, let's kick it off. So happy Saturday, federal prison time with rdapdan. And today we are talking about the real fear. The real fear that consists of prison is the actually idea of fear is worse than prison itself. And a lot of people that are getting ready to go into prison have this giant fear of the unexpected, the unknown. What's it going to be like? Is it going to be like what they see on TV? Is it going to be, rough, scary? It's going to be like the TV show Oz or Locked Up or, Jailbreak or Prison Break, any of these other shows that you guys may have watched. And that might be your only way to relate to what you think prison might be. Hey, what's going on, Alex, Byron? Welcome, guys. Appreciate you for joining us this Saturday. So, now not to say there's not prisons that are like that you do need to fear, but for most people that are, visiting my YouTube channel that I chat with, most of us are going to be going to a camp or even a low maybe. And the fear of prison for what you're expecting it to be is not going to be anywhere near what you think it's going to be. There's a lot of prisons out there that are real cushy. Some of them aren't even actually owned by the BOP. There's a couple of private ones out there, especially in California. Like if you end up going to Taft, that's not even a real prison. People that go to Taft, they don't really know what it's like to be in the BOP really, because it's run completely different. And I actually spoke to another prison consultant today who spent a little bit of time in Taft. Not very long, and you guys may have either spoken to him or saw some of his videos out in the past. But a guy named Larry Levine, who has a prison consulting business, he actually spent some time in Taft. He's been in mediums, pens, lows, camps. Did about 10 years, and just told me some of these prisons are just real cushy. Taft being, he said, the most cushy prison he's ever seen, to where it's basically, if you could have a girlfriend there, you might not want to leave. So camps and lows, guys, you're really not going to need to worry that much. There's so much to do activity-wise. You've got so many classes you can take, educational classes, work on different types of degrees that various prisons offer. Workout routines are just bar none. You're probably going to have some of the best workout routines that you've ever seen. Right now, the prison that you're in is this prison of fear that you've locked up in your mind, to where you can't imagine how to leave your family. You can't imagine how to leave your loved ones, especially if you have children. You're thinking, oh my God, this is going to be the end of the world, and my kids are never going to be able to deal with this. And I'm telling you guys that families, children, husbands, wives, brothers, sisters, whoever it is, friends that are going to remain on the outside while you go in, they're more resilient than you may be giving them credit for, and they're going to be able to handle it. They are going to get through it. You have the ability to add fuel to how easy they get through it, or add fuel to how rough they take it. Once you actually start communicating with your family and explaining it throughout the process, and not making it sound like you're such a victim and you can't believe you're going to prison and how bad you don't want to go, because everybody knows you don't want to go. But once you just take acceptance of it and accept the reality of that you're going to go to prison, and start just kind of stop focusing on the fear and start doing your homework and research and finding out what prison actually consists of. And what you'll find out is, actually, instead of having all of this fear in prison, you're probably going to start thinking a little bit more of curiosity, of like the curiosity of what prison is actually going to be like. Which, there's still anxiety with curiosity, but you're going to start let going of the fear, because you're going to come to terms with, okay, I've watched enough YouTube videos, I've talked to Dan enough, I spoke to other people maybe that have been to prison, and where I'm likely going, I've come to terms with, there's nothing really to be scared of or fearful of. Now you're just anxiety, the new kid, you're the first day at school type of anxiety, which part of that is not going to get dealt with until you get to prison. Simple as that. What's up, Juan? Juan Carlos, excited to join us. Hope you're having a good Saturday, my man. How are those decision-making skills coming out, Juan Carlos? You've been working on those, making those better decisions and choices. Oh, Juan Carlos. Kaylin Kelly, Alex, you should reach out to Mike if you have questions. He went to Lewisburg. He wrote the Confessions of a Wall Street Insider. There you go. There's some good useful insight and possible good tool and resource to pick up on. Appreciate that, Caitlin. Sorry, I've got everybody on the little screen today. I don't know why. I've got 3 giant monitors here and 1 small laptop screen, and for some reason I opened it up on the laptop screen. I think because I wanted to put the camera in front of me today and be able to stare directly at you guys. Byron, when did you send it? I did receive some emails over the last couple days. If you can shoot me a quick text, or just maybe resend it so it's in the front of my inbox, I'll take a look at it as soon as we wrap up on this video and respond to you, see what I can take a peek at for you. But yeah, guys, so fear and the thought of prison and the idea of prison is, in most cases, for where most of you guys are going, is actually way worse than the actual prison itself. Juan, still fighting the system as hard as I can. I have 110 hours of service work done by tomorrow. Tonight is my 100th NA meeting. That's how I'm fighting the system. There you go, my man. That's all you can really be doing right now. And you and I should probably have a conversation here. I need to catch up from that text message you sent me. That's pretty wild. So yeah, some insane stuff goes on out there, guys. Every day. And when I watch other videos and see when I watch other stuff from other prison consultants, and I just see the kind of shady techniques they use, right now it's my own self-proclaimed happiness, but I'm happy to be the largest prison consultant on YouTube. And it seems that there's other people out there that may not be so happy about that, other consultants. And it's funny because you'll see them actually paying for subscribers or paying for views, which I didn't even know was a thing. But evidently on YouTube, you can go to different websites or Google and you can buy subscribers, you can buy views, and it's not fucking legit. It's shady as hell, man. And it's funny just to see that people will do this. I don't think they know that you can see it when it happens. Like, there's tools out there that if you're a YouTuber and you're really into YouTube, you've downloaded different tools and you can see when people do these things because it gives you like a bird's eye view of other people's channels, and it cracks me up. So I enjoyed it. Actually, one of my viewers / clients sent me a message on the prison consultant that did that, and I was quite shocked that he was going to do that he would have done that. That's the last prison consultant I would have expected to try to take a cheap shot. So for Saturday, what is everybody doing to make sure that they're prepping and planning for Monday? Everybody should expect to either get a call. Like, everybody's fearful of Monday's phone call, right? Everybody's fearful that they're going to get a call from their attorney and it's going to be, hey, case is moving along, or maybe you haven't heard from your attorney in a while. And every day Monday rolls around, we all get that anxiety and that hope that the phone doesn't ring. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that's kind of like we're anticipating. Every time we hear the phone ring, we're afraid to look and see who it is because we're thinking it might be our attorney or some kind of some type of bad news. The way to overcome that is to, again, face your fear head on. If that's something that's really fearful, be the one. Pick up your phone and call your attorney Monday morning, or send them an email or a text message, however you're keeping communication with your attorney. Because look, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Just because you don't hear from your attorney for weeks doesn't mean that all of a sudden, it's not like when you're a little kid and if you close your eyes long enough, it goes away or they disappear. If you're going to get in trouble, if you're getting indicted, if you're going to go to prison, if they're going to push through the charges, it's going to happen regardless whether your phone rings Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. So be the one to pick up the phone, call your attorney, find out what's going on, and maybe he'll tell you, hey, no news. Then you can relax for the rest of the week. Or he'll go, hey, I was going to call you. I've got some information. Okay, you take that deep breath, you digest what he has, you process it, and you start working forward with it. But trying to pretend like it doesn't exist, that's half the problem with where all this anxiety and fear builds up from, is because we have all of these things that we know that we need to be taken care of. We know we have all these things that need to be taken care of, but we don't. We kind of just put it off, pretend like it doesn't exist. And then weeks or months later, all of a sudden something pops up and it just catches you by surprise, knocks the wind out of your sail. You're completely flustered, don't know what to do. And now the heart rate, the anxiety, the fear, it just gets intensified because we don't deal with it in small doses. Wild Games. Hey, what's going on, Wild Games? What's up, John? Welcome, John. We got John Goff in the room. It's strange reading about yourself and how messed up your life was and how much of a fuck up you are. And Judge is going to read this and sentence me. That's true. That's why it's so important that you take things like your personal narrative, your character reference letters, building your mentor network, doing community service, maintaining a job, because that's the only thing, that's the only option you have to combat your past, what the prosecutors are going to build up against you. The only way that you can fight that is with fire. So you got to fight fire with fire. If you know they're coming at you with fire, you can't just sit with your head in the sand expecting something positive to happen. At the same time, don't just assume no matter what you do isn't going to be good enough, so why even try? That's a horrible self-defeating thought. And if people have that mentality and they actually work with it and they don't do anything because they're just so stuck in their own mind thinking nothing I do is going to matter, nothing ever good happens to me, why even try? That's why shit doesn't happen for you, because people quit and give up. And it's easy to quit and give up. It is not easy to fight and push and go do the things that you need to take. Just ask Juan Carlos. He's been battling these demons in his mind for weeks now. And finally, after making a series of shitty, fucked up mistakes, he's finally wrapping his mind around, you know what, it's just easier to fucking do it than it is to go round and round and round and try to find shortcuts. So Juan Carlos is a great person for you guys to chat with here in the room, and just get some insight of, like, when you have this manipulative thought process to where you think you can beat the system and you think you can get one up and you think you can sneak by with something. Guys, even if you get away with it here and there, it only takes that one time to trip up, and then it negates every good thing that you've done, because it just brings it all back to surface that, oh, okay, he hasn't learned anything. So it's good to see when someone's making decisions, and everybody grows and progresses at a different pace. Not everybody's going to get it the first round. Not everybody's going to get it the second or third round. But once it finally clicks, and when it roots and grabs in, it usually doesn't go away unless you start forgetting about it or you get complacent. So it's important to keep pushing, keep trying, and do not ever let yourself get too complacent. No matter how comfortable and how good things are going for you, once complacency sets in, that's when bad things get to happen, because you think, hey, I'm better, I'm perfect, I've got my drinking under control, I've got my drugs under control, I don't need to go to meetings anymore. You know, this RDAP thing was a cakewalk, I don't need to practice my tools anymore. It's not hard for us to fall back to our old ways. It's not hard at all. But I get what you're saying, Molinesque. It does look bad, but we've all been there where it looks bad, and you have to start somewhere. You gotta plant your feet and start somewhere and start building new roots to go in the positive direction. And look, the hardest thing about it initially is people might think you're full of shit. They don't really believe you're going to try to change because maybe they've heard the song and dance before. But look, repetitiveness, building new habits doesn't happen overnight, and over the course of time, showing action after action after action, when your audio and your video starts matching, so whatever you're saying you're going to do, and people start seeing that backed up with actions, not just today, this weekend, next week, not just for the next 30 days, but 6 months from now, when you've maintained that sense of regular self-worth, and you continue this thought process and you continue these behaviors, people are going to start to see the new you, and they're going to start to respect it, and they're going to start to build faith in you again, and they're going to start to give you a little bit of, okay, I can trust you. And don't get me wrong, it won't be hard to burn it, because if you mess up one time, they might result back to old thinking. Well, you didn't learn a thing, or she didn't learn a thing. But you guys got to be willing to start somewhere. I'm worried the judge is going to make an example of me. My judge is a graduate of my law school. He's going to be looking down at me with anger. You got a whole lot of assuming in there. If you look at what you're saying, he's going to be looking down at me with anger. You do not know that. You're making an assumption which is allowing you to control your actions. So this thought process that you have, you're thinking right now, you're thinking the judge is going to judge you and look down on you. You do not know that. So the fact that you don't know that, you need to stop using all of these absolutes and start sticking with being objective. If you can get objective and go, okay, I don't know what the judge is going to do. What control do I have over what the judge is going to do? The only control you have is what you're doing right now with your character. The only control you have is how you act and what you do and how you think and what your actions are actually going to be. Worrying about what the judge might or might not do, if you're allowing that to dictate how you're going to control your choices, you're making a really, really fatal flaw, because that is an inherent flaw that we carry with us so much, not just in the legal system, but specifically throughout our entire life. We don't tell our parents something because we think they're going to react a certain way. We don't tell our husband or wife something because we think they're going to react a certain way. We're late to work and we're afraid to tell the boss, hey, I overslept, because we think they're going to react a certain way. We put all of these thoughts on how we think people are going to react, and now we digest that and we allow it to build and build and build until we do something stupid like quit our job because you're afraid no, I'm not going to show up now, or I'm not going to go home. I mean, all of these bad choices can come from allowing your mind to go crazy. All of us have a lot of stuff in our past that there's nothing we can do to change our past. but you do have control of how you're going to be in the future. You do not have to be a product of who you were. Now, you can learn and grow and respect who you were to remind yourself of who you don't want to be in the future, but you have to be willing to fight for it. Yep. Emma's flying around. Crazy bird. Crazy Emma. Okay, Emma. You win. You win. So, guys, you have to be able to be wanting to do things that you're not normally comfortable doing, guys. It's super important because comfortability is kind of the root of what stops us from progressing. Because in order to progress, you have to be willing to feel uncomfortable to make change. Everybody says they hate change, they hate anything different. That's why a lot of the older generation has such a problem with internet and all these things, because it's not what they were used to using. So they're against it because they don't understand it. And it's like that with almost anything. Marijuana becoming legalized in so many states. People are against it because it's always been illegal. But think about alcohol, prohibition days. Same thing. We've progressed as a country, as a world, as a human. We've made all these giant leaps in technology, and it's just growing faster and faster. So you've either got to be willing to move with the time, or you kind of are going to get screwed. And when you do, you're just going to blame it on, well, the judge was extra hard on me because he was in my law class. That's not a good reason to jump to. You have to be able to look at it and go, what could I have done differently? What did I do to put into it? If you're going to go to prison, there's going to be a time where you're going to be laying in your bunk, and you're either going to say to yourself, what could I have done differently? Or you're going to say to yourself, man, I put it all out. I did everything I could have done. I was out there doing community service. I was out there building a mentor network, having others hold me accountable while I was holding others accountable. I put every bit of effort I had into my personal narrative and character reference letters. I made sure I was well prepared for my PSR. I made sure I did everything I could do to show people that are in charge of my life that I'm making an effective stance at changing who I am. If you can't say you did all those things and you get slammed at sentencing, it's your fault. It is your fault. I did a video, it was like 2 videos ago, where the judge slams a guy for basically the judge didn't know who he was at sentencing. Had no idea. PSR was horrible, which means he probably didn't put any effort into personal narratives, which means he probably didn't put any effort into doing anything above and beyond. He sat there with his head in the sand and expected his attorney to just pull out magic, and we all know that's probably not the case. Most attorneys do a very basic service, take a lot of money from you, they get the plea from prosecution, deliver it to you, tell you you need to take it, or advise you that it's not in your best interest not to take it, and then you accept the plea. You take your 5K1, your acceptance of responsibility, whatever else you're trying to do to reduce a sentence. And just because you're taking acceptance of responsibility, the judge knows you're going to get acceptance of responsibility in order to reduce your sentence. That doesn't mean the judge really buys what you're saying. That's why you have to show him, not just saying you're accepting responsibility, you have to explain to him what that means. And that's through actions. What else have you been doing? Do you owe a ton of restitution? Do you have a ton of victims where you have big money that's owed out there? Okay, what kind of car are you driving? What kind of house are you living in? If you've got a really nice car, are you going to sell it and use the money and show the judge that, hey, you know, I got rid of my BMW, my Mercedes, my Land Rover, my Porsche, whatever it is that you had. I got rid of my boat, my extra motorcycle. I downsized my house to be able to use some of this money to pay back victims. Going above and beyond can make all of the difference. And unfortunately, attorneys don't necessarily explain this because I think they put so little effort into caring about this part of it that they don't even know that this stuff makes a difference until it does. And we've been witnessed, guys, just in the last few months where we've been witness to several different clients that we've been working with that have saw dramatic results in sentencing and getting probation. And it wasn't because the judge just had a heart. It was because they really saw what they were doing. Prosecutors didn't want these guys to get probation and get much lighter sentences. They were fighting for no probation. And the judge said, no, I'm giving them probation. He doesn't deserve to go to prison. This guy's gone above and beyond. He's got hundreds of hours of community service on top of maintaining a full-time job. He's got a mentor network of people that are holding him accountable to help him create new habits. If you guys don't believe this works, you're crazy. You are absolutely crazy not to think that it works. And what if it does work? How much is it really going to cost you to put in this time and effort? It doesn't cost anything. If you're that lazy and you're that messed up in your thinking process to not be willing to do it, and it's easier just to cry, complain, and fill yourself up with anxiety, that's the hard part. You cannot enjoy your life right now. Every one of you that isn't doing anything to better your situation, that's just sitting around waiting for your attorney to call, every single one of you is probably in a very, very dark spot. And I'm telling you, get out of that dark spot, take that fear, look at it right in the eyes and say, this is nothing to be afraid of. I'm not going to the pen where violence is present. I'm going to a camp or a low. So I got to deal with that concept. Now, what can I do to mitigate how much time I might do on top of whatever my attorney may be doing for me? There's so many things that you have control over. And for whatever reason, so many people are not embracing this control and jumping in the driver's seat and taking back control. I don't understand why. I thought, my excuse was, I didn't have anybody out there to tell me to do this. Do you really need somebody to tell you to do it? I was an idiot going through this whole process myself. I was very nervous. I maintained a job. I started doing all my homework at the last minute, like a lot of you do. But now that I had this YouTube channel, I'm like, all right, maybe I can help people make that difference. Maybe I can put that information out there and say, hey, it's real easy. You just got to follow this formula. And granted, yes, there are a lot of you that are completely like, hey, I appreciate it. I'm taking some of the recommendations and it's changed my life immensely. But then there's so many of you that I'll still talk to that haven't done shit. It's like, man, you got somebody here kind of spelling out the roadmap and people still don't want to take responsibility for it. Interested. What's that say? Come on. Want to see 10 likes? It's easy. Just tick the thumbs up. Give a like for 20 pi on the mic. I'm not sure what interested. What is that? Come on. Want to see 10 likes? It's easy. Just click on the thumbs up. It's got a good point. What do we got? How many people we got in this room right now? We've got a few people in the room. Does everybody at least click the thumbs up and like the video? That would be nice. Go ahead and click that thumbs up for me. He's got a good point. The only thing that gives me peace is when I'm doing something that might help me. Boom, Juan Carlos, you just nailed it on the head. Think about how easy it is now to get yourself out of that negative dwelling process of where you're sitting at home and you're staring at the wall or you're reading over your case a million times, things that you can't change what it is, right? And you're looking for, maybe they reported something wrong. You're looking for that magic bullet that's going to undo everything. That probably doesn't exist. But what Juan Carlos just said is, he summed it up in a paragraph. The only thing that gives me peace when I'm doing something that might help me. That might help him. So what he's doing is he's stacking odds in his favor. He's going out there and doing community service. Does he know for sure that the judge is going to go, okay, lighter sentence or anything positive from that? He doesn't know that for sure. But he knows there is a possibility that could make a difference. We'll spend tens of thousands of dollars on attorneys without even batting an eye. But we will nitpick and cry and complain about going out and putting 10, 15 hours a week into community service. Why is that? Are we that lazy of a race that humans are that lazy that they do not want to go do anything that's going to require effort? Hiring an attorney doesn't require effort. It requires money. And if you've got tons of money laying around, you don't mind dropping $50, $100, a couple $100,000 on a legal defense, because you think that's going to get you out of trouble. Then when you realize that's not enough, that's where a lot of us pump those brakes and we don't know what to do next. We are giving you a recipe that has worked for so many people before you, and it has worked very recently, and it's going to continue to work after you. It's very disheartening to see somebody get slammed And so far, I have not seen anybody that I've been dealing with that has gotten a rougher sentence than what they thought they were going to get. In most cases, it's been downward departed from where they thought they were going to get, unless there's minimum mandatories. We've seen guys that thought they were going to get a heck of a lot more time, get very little time. And we've seen some guys thought they were going to get time, get no time at all. And you have to wonder, how much of a role did the effort they put in play in that decision at the day of sentencing? All of this time that you have ahead of you right now until you're going to get sentenced, make the decision to be proactive and not just wait around for something to happen, and go make it happen. Go build that destiny, and then take that same energy that you're starting to formulate now and carry that shit into prison with you, and do the same thing in prison. Go above and beyond. RDAP if you can. Program, even if you can't do RDAP, take reentry programs, take different life courses. Take anything that is going to help build your mind, because just like Juan Carlos said, the only thing that gives him peace is when he's doing something that he feels like it might better his outcome. So no matter what you're doing, if you feel like, hey, this is helping me feel better for whatever reason, is going to help you do your time. The state of mind that you're in prison is going to determine so much of how prison life is or is not for you. My sentence is September 13th. This is the worst time. Yeah, Scott, waiting for sentencing, waiting for, indictments, waiting for your PSRs, all of these things that you guys are going through right now is by far the worst time. This is why we titled today's title, the real prison is fear, because the spot you're in your mind right now, the imaginary walls that you've built up is way worse than those barbed wire brick walls that you're going to have in prison. Just remember that. If you can really, really hold on to that thought, it will give you a little bit of relief. Right now is far worse than what prison is actually going to be like. In prison, you're finally going to come to terms with it is what it is, and your new temporary life and routine will start. And once you fall into this new routine, time starts flying. There's going to be days that you're going to have such good days. You're going to be laughing so hard that you'll be crying. You're going to be so excited from stuff that you've learned in classes, conversations that you never imagined having before, people that you're going to become friends with that you never would have had the opportunity. There's so many really amazing, good people in prison. Tons. I just had a client self-surrender. What's today? Today's Saturday. I want to say it was Wednesday or Thursday. This guy, Chris, he's been a nervous wreck. He literally hired me. Now, I've been talking to him for months. He literally hired me and actually paid me the day that he was self-surrendering, because he just needs help with some coaching and some halfway house stuff. He only got an 18-month sentence, so it's not a long period of time. But I actually spoke to him yesterday for the first time. He called me and we spoke, and he told me he's actually having a good time. He hasn't even been there a couple of days yet. He's already into a routine. He's met a bunch of good dudes. He was getting ready to go out and play handball. I'm telling you guys, prison is not what you imagine for most of you. It is not what you imagine. Now, it's not home. It's not a country club. It's not riding around in your BMW and spending money. It's a very humbling, grateful experience that you will walk away from, and you're gonna feel proud once you leave prison. You're gonna have this conflict later on in life that you want to tell people about it, but you don't necessarily want to be judged. But at the same time, it's like, man, you don't know how good life is right now because you haven't been where I've been. And the fear of where you're going. That's how the system is so corrupt and screwed up, is it the people that commit suicide, it's not because they're going to prison. It's because they can't deal with the fear and the anxiety and the pressure of the thought of going to prison, because they've made that fear, anxiety, and thought way worse, a million times worse than what it actually may be. So when we get clients, we help you with your letters, your narratives, your character references, your PSR, your RDAP, halfway house, things like that. Of course, that's a big part of the service. But a much bigger part is keeping you sane and keeping you at a reality check where you do not let this fear get out of control. You're never going to be able to diminish the fear. You're never going to be able to get rid of it completely. The anxiety is always going to surface. But once you find exercises and tools to be able to deal with it as it happens, you're going to find that you're dealing with the issue the minute it happens and you can move on from it. And those of you that have a while out on pretrial probation, you can actually start to enjoy your life once you've accepted, hey, I'm going to prison. It's not going to be the end of the world, but I've got months left still, or maybe years left for some of you before you're going to go. Why not enjoy that time and live it up with your friends and really just experience the moment? Because you can live in such a heightened reality. Once I came to terms, I was going to prison, and I started just telling people, I'm going to prison, I'm going to prison, I'm looking forward to it. And I started telling myself that, even though I didn't necessarily believe it, I started believing it more and more and more, and it made it so much easier to deal with. Then people would start saying, man, I can't believe you're going to prison and you're okay with it. You know, they stopped saying like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. They're like, well, I cannot imagine getting ready to go to prison being like you are right now. You still show up to work every day, you smile, you laugh, you're going out and doing things. I wouldn't even know you're going to prison if you didn't tell me. That's how you want to be living your life, guys, because that is going to allow you to digest that negative energy and regurgitate it as something powerful. You got that, Juan Carlos. This bird poops a lot. You might even, if you guys stare real close to her butthole, you might get a poop shot. Poop show. RDAPdan's poop show. That sounds like it's illegal. Is that bestiality? Can we allowed to have poop shows? I might go to federal prison for that. Don't poop on camera, bird. She's sleeping. I wish you guys could see her face. Maybe you can. Want to see how cute this bird is? Oh, she woke up. I'll show her to you anyway. Yeah, she's pretty cute. Very, very poopy though. Yeah, I'm talking to you. So is everybody liked the video already? Has everybody hit the little thumbs up? I'd really appreciate it if you guys could hit that thumbs up. So, and the reason why I want you guys to hit the thumbs up is it increases my YouTube channel for one, but B, other people are going to come to this video after when it's not live. And if it's got a bunch of thumbs up, they're going to go, okay, yeah, it's a 45 to an hour long, but so many people gave it thumbs up, it must have some useful content. So it's going to get people to watch it and be able to share this information with them. So do me a favor, stop what you're doing, hit the thumbs up, do it for Emma. Do it for the animals. John, when will Emma be free? You know, the plan was that she was already supposed to be free, but she's not drinking water completely on her own yet. So I'm hoping in the next couple of days. I did get a little bird cage for her that Shelly's grandmother has a bunch of birds, so Shelly got a cage from her grandmother just to have her hang out in the cage. But I figured I'd let her hang out on YouTube because someday she won't be here, but she'll always be on YouTube. Forever, Emma, you'll be part of YouTube history. Emma the bird. I should get a shirt. Well, free Emma. Free Emma. Juan Carlos. Hey Dan, been a fan for a while. Joe from ApS shouted you out earlier in his video. Was that one young 99 man? Was that today, or was that the other day? Because I know I heard that he gave me a nice little shout out the other day, and I was just going to mention that. You know, my channel has definitely grown in the last couple of months. For sure, and it has a lot to do with other YouTubers, believe it or not. There's a lot of other really good YouTubers out there. After Prison Show from Joe, every time Joe mentions me on his show, I'll get 10 or 15 subscribers, and that's just awesome. So I can't wait till me and Joe actually do a video together, because it is coming. We've already spoke about it. We've talked on the phone a few times. Joe's just extremely busy. I'm going to say lazy. Joe, you're lazy. You make videos every single day. I'm just kidding. You cannot be a 7-day-a-week YouTuber and be lazy. Those two things just don't go hand in hand. You are borderline. You're almost like a crackhead without the crack, because it requires so much constant willpower to shoot the video, edit the video, have it up, and to do that every single day. That means you're shooting and editing every single day. That's a lot of work. If anybody's ever made one YouTube video where you did just a little bit of editing, you know what goes into it. That's why I like doing the live videos, I'm not going to lie. But I do enjoy the edited videos, and I am getting back. Oh, there we go. There's your poop, Juan. Did you see it? Right on my chair, but I got a little napkin down here, so we're good. You pooped on YouTube, Emma. How rude. Ah, thanks, Juan. Yeah, he's called me. I gave Joe my number, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, and we probably spoke 4 or 5 times over the phone, and we've got some ideas on what we can do together. Obviously, Joe doesn't need me to grow his channel, Mr. 490,000 subscribers. However, I would love to have Joe's help to grow my YouTube channel, as I'm almost to 1,200 subscribers. Hey, but we all got to start somewhere. Big guys and little guys got to team up. I can tell you what, when I'm there with 500,000 subscribers and I see a small YouTube channel like mine now, and I see that it's somebody that's actually putting out good, valuable content, man, I will piggyback them straight to the top. Grab onto my coattails, and to the top we go. Because that's what it's all about, giving back, right? Community's method, people helping people. And it's hard to help people when you can't help people. What's up, Josie? I did YouTube for a month and gave up. I did enjoy editing, but I'm too much of a perfectionist for all that. Joe also gave our prison wife group a shout out. Very, very cool. Yeah, so Josie, you know, editing is super time consuming, and it is fun, but when you think about how much goes into it, sometimes the thought of doing it can prevent you from engaging, even though once you're in the middle of it, you're really enjoying it. But it does require a lot of time. If I was to do a video every single day and edit it every single day, I might be single. I might be single, because I imagine it takes several hours just getting the video right, and then it takes several more hours editing the video, trying to mix that in with a personal life. Oof. I've got to talk to Joe. How do you do it, Joe? How do you do it? He's got people, that's how. He's got people to do things. I don't have people yet. I've got people to help with letters and the business side of it, but the actual YouTube side of it, it's all rdapdan. What's up, Edward? Welcome, my man. I hope that formula works, but if I was my judge, I would not feel much sympathy for me. You got to get your mind off of that and realize you got to hope that, okay, you're not the judge. He is the judge, and hopefully he's being a fair judge, and he's not going to judge you extra just because he has an association to you. You got to hope that he's going to just be fair across the board and do everything you can do to help present that. So work the formula, and if you need questions about the formula, shoot me a call, text, or email, and we can chat about it. Gordo, what's going on, my man? I like Joe. He makes me laugh. I made his prison burrito break a week ago and tried it. Live for my fellow prison wives. Yeah, prison food, if you make it right, it's actually really, really, really good. And I don't know if federal prison's that much different from state prison, but where I was at, the food that they came up with there, and the recipes and the meals and the concoctions were far more intense than any prison food I've seen somebody make yet on YouTube, including Joe or Big Herc or any of these other guys. Where I was at, the stuff that they were making there was just like fucking gourmet prison food. It's because we were in Club Fed, gourmet style. But yeah, we had a chef in there too. That might have helped. We had a chef that was in prison that he would just go to town, man. You give this guy like a dry rice and beans, and all of a sudden you got like a fucking birthday cake. Thanks, One Young. Kimberly, Joe has Cody. Yeah, Joe has Cody. I need a Cody in my life. Where's my Cody? That's going to be my next YouTube channel. Where's my Cody? Where are you going? You're going to get right on my microphone, aren't you? Emma. She gives me kisses at nighttime. No kisses on camera. We can't make out. It looks like bestiality. She likes to have makeout sessions, though. And you like to pinch her butt. You want to pinch your butt. Pinch your butt. She didn't like that. Sexual harassment. All right, too much talk about bestiality over here. Let's move on. I gotta edit that part out. All right, Emma, you can come back now. Where my boyfriend is in the feds, he said he barely eats. He said the food isn't that bad in the chow hall. Yeah, where I was at, the food was amazing in the chow hall. For a prison, I mean, it was really quite edible and enjoyable. Certain meals were better than others, obviously, but I really enjoyed the meals that we would make. And 5 days a week, 6 days a week, I pretty much just lived on tuna, beans, brown rice, oatmeal, nuts, juice, fruit, stuff, because I was in a health nut mode. But once or twice a week, go balls to the wall, and we would just eat all kinds of crazy homemade pizzas and burritos and nachos and these big Mexican bowls that were like just layered like beans, and I mean, you name it. It was really, really good. So I sometimes I miss the activity of making the food with friends. Like, everybody would shop that week knowing, like, hey, next week we're going to make, burrito bowls for everybody. And there'd be like 6 of us. So I would get certain ingredients, they would get certain ingredients, and we'd all meet up on a certain day, and we'd put all the ingredients together. And then somebody would always be, somebody might be cutting up stuff while somebody else is preparing something else. And it's just like a chef line. It takes 4 or 5 hours to get these meals made and ready. But once they're made and ready, man, you go chill out outside during, when the compound is open and the sun's down, and you're relaxing, you're sitting on the table, you're dreaming and laughing. I mean, it was a pretty good time, guys. It was a really, really pretty good time. And that's what you guys gotta, if you're taking anything from this video, focus on what I'm talking about right now. There was some really good memories that came from prison. And I'm not... Oh, be careful over there. Emma's on the fan. Come here. You're crazy. Emma's going to... All of a sudden you see blood splatter against my face. Emma gets chopped up in the fan. That's a horrible thought. But yeah, hold on to those thoughts of, I wasn't somebody that's been in and out of prison my whole life. I didn't grow up in some rough family, some rough life. I've had ups and downs just like anybody else. But at the same time, my thoughts of what prison were going to be like are just like yours. I was terrified. And I wish that I could have known more about where I was going, because it was not a big deal, and it was a low. Most of you are going to be going to a security level lower than that at a camp. I got arrested a year and a half ago, Dan. Was still in the halfway house doing videos on his home weekend. I've seen through... Thank you, Molinisk, if I'm pronouncing your name right. Hey, Dan, gotta run. Great video. All right, John. See you later, bud. Step outside your box and make videos of the meals. That's my plan, Josie, is if you saw, I posted in the description of the video. Here, I'll post it right here. So here's a new platform. It's not YouTube. It's called VidMe. And I'm also on there. And that's going to be the type of videos. Now, I've got all of these videos are also over there just because I wanted to start the channel off with some growth. But that platform is going to be separate from YouTube, and that's going to be more of prison meals, prison discussions, a little bit more after prison show style, if you want to say it. I am going to try to rip off some of Joe's videos. So Joe, rdapdan is going to steal your content, letting you know ahead of time. But hey, if your shit wasn't so good, I wouldn't want to steal it. So consider it a compliment. Horrible thought, but your channel would blow up. Interested. What's interested? What are you talking about? Horrible thought, but your channel will blow up with views. Horrible thought about what? What are you referring to? The food? Have you also ever thought about going live on YouNow sometimes? I hear a lot of people use that. I've never heard of YouNow, so I will definitely check that out. Not stealing. You have white collar experience. He has blue collar experience. But I am going to steal his content. I hope he steals mine. Joe, steal my content. But my content, Joe's just, you know what it is? He's fucking funny. He's like a comedian. He's got that presence that just is entertaining and makes you laugh. And he edits his videos really, really well to keep you watching. So don't think I don't sit here and study Joe with my pen and paper. I study a few people out there, but I really, really enjoy it. I've watched his channel grow so fucking fast. It blows my mind. The bird on the fan. Oh, yeah. That would make for a lot of views. Oh, where'd she go? I don't even know where she is now. Where'd you go, Emma? Well, she's not on the fan. I don't know where she is. Anybody see her? If you see Emma, let me know if you spot her in the background. It's like, where's Waldo? The room's not that big. Emma flew away and disappeared. She's probably sitting on my chair right behind me. All right. Well, at least we know she's not dead. And she's not on the fan anymore, so... Alright, it's going to drive me crazy. You have to see where Emma went. Hold on. Oh, there you are. You're hiding behind the coffee cup. Come back over here. Alright, we got her. We got her. She's safe. Get up there. Get on your perch. Get on your microphone. Okay. Emma's safe and sound, guys. She didn't blow up in the fan. It's not a finch. It's a... I forgot what she is. I looked it up, and I think it'll probably come right back up in my phone if I just start to type in baby bird. Let's see. Baby. It's a cedar waxwing. She's a baby cedar waxwing. I've got Google, but what are negatives in the gym? Juan Carlos, negatives. So negatives, like on a pull-up bar or say a dip bar. So negatives are like when you're all the way up, like you push yourself up on a dip and you go down real slow. Push back up, go down real slow. Like try to do 30 seconds up, 30 seconds down, 30 seconds up, 30 seconds down. So you're going real slow and the muscle grows at an intense rate. Same thing with push-ups, same thing with pull-ups. Just when you do your pull-up, go down real slow. You can do negative with weights, but I try not to mess with weights. I try to avoid weights because you hurt yourself, and if you stop using the weights, you lose the muscle real fast because your body got used to, you know, lifting heavier things, and it's no longer doing it. And I just like to, you know, that this scar is such a reminder of, you know, when I ripped my tendon off my bicep. I don't ever want to experience anything like that again, even though right now I've got tennis elbow and it fucking hurts. So I'm trying to heal that up. I just diagnosed myself with that yesterday. I looked it up online. That's definitely what I got. Son of a gun. But I like the few with Zach video. Oh, Zach's amazing. If you guys haven't watched Win with Zach yet, I'm telling you, there's so many fucking YouTubers out there that are amazing YouTubers that put out great content. But I know a lot of you, I've turned a lot of you on to Win with Zach. He's pretty much, I would say our channel is relatively the same size. He also went to prison. His channels are based on positivity and life coaching and making good decisions. And I steal a lot of my content from Zach too. So Zach, I'm stealing your content as well. Zach actually just launched his life coaching business. And I am going to somehow twist his arm into work with me for some of my upcoming clients that need that additional motivation. And so I'm going to try to find a way to work with Zach with some of my clients. So Win with Zach, if you haven't checked out his channel, it's super easy. Just type in YouTube, Win with Zach. Have you guys all liked the video? I'm telling you, if I don't see at least 10 or 11 likes after this video, I'm just going to assume that you all hate me and you don't like me. You want me to quit YouTube. That should be my next video. I'm quitting YouTube forever. God, that would probably get a lot of likes. But that's what they call clickbait. I learned that term the other day. Clickbait. That's when you put up some kind of a thumbnail, but it doesn't represent anything in your video. I should make a video. I did an interview with Joe from After Prison Show. Huh. Get a lot of views, but it wouldn't be true. Or like the other prison consultants out there that I just found out is buying views. That is fucking crazy. Paying for views. There's literally companies out there that will sell you 500 views or 1,000 views or 500 subscribers, and you pay a fee like $50 or $100, and you get views and subscribers, but it's not real. So it doesn't add to like your monetization. It doesn't add to the bottom line. It just gives you this fake ass number on YouTube that looks really good, but anybody that pays attention and like, all right, so he's got 3 comments, but 50,000 views. That shit doesn't make any sense, right? You guys are smarter than that, right? So watch out. Watch out for these shady YouTubers out there. Shady prison consultants, too. Dan, were you an opiate addict when you went to prison? No, I was not. I was a marijuana addict. I smoked a lot of marijuana. However, it's funny if you ask me if I was an opiate addict because I worked for a pain clinic. I was the office manager of a pain clinic. Never used pills, never took pills. Didn't even like taking pills when the doctor would prescribe me pills. I tried opiates in the past and just did not like the way it made me feel. Made me feel kind of sick to my stomach. Gave me like my skin would just crawl and itch, so never liked it. I've never tried meth. I've never even tried cocaine. I've never tried heroin. I did mushrooms once. I did Molly once before I went to prison. And I used to smoke bud, but that was about it. I'm glad I never got on opiates because I'm one of those people that once I like get into something, I really, really enjoy it. And I've seen the destruction that opiates can cause to people, to families, and that has a lot to do with my responsibility that I had to finally come to terms with. And I didn't take responsibility for my own shit until I was actually in prison in RDAP. Because, okay, I worked at a pain clinic, and it was in Georgia, Savannah, Georgia. It was called East Healthcare. You can actually look this whole story up online. If you type in pain clinic, Savannah, Georgia, East Health Center, or look up Dr. Asmat, what you'll find out is we were a pain clinic that was providing prescription pain medication to patients that stated they had chronic pain. Now, the problem was these patients were coming from like Ohio, Kentucky, Connecticut, Tennessee. Not very many of them were in the Georgia area. So these people were driving fucking miles to come see this doctor. Well, I knew most of these people were coming because they were either addicted or they planned on buying the pain medication and then reselling it out on the street for street value because their insurance would pay for it, all kinds of different things. But I said to myself, well, that's up to the doctor. He's writing the prescriptions, takes myself out of the responsibility. So that's how I justified working there. Now, even when I got in trouble, I still was like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. But now looking back at taking responsibility for the role that I played, knowing that something like that is going on and not saying anything is just as bad because those pills weren't just going into the addict's hands, right? It was going into children's hands. It was killing parents, leaving children abandoned. I can't even begin to imagine the domino effect that had on the different communities where those pills had landed. So in some ways, I'm like, man, I got really lucky with the sentence that I got because who knows how many unreported deaths there potentially were that were either in direct relation or were like a indirect consequence from me working at that place and willing to be the office manager and just help run that place. The way we used to do our marketing, oh my God, I should do a video on that one day. It was very, very intense guerrilla marketing. We literally used to go to other pain clinics and steal their patients. For example, we were in Savannah, Georgia, and a lot of clients were driving from like Kentucky. So they'd come down I-95. Now, before we were in Savannah, Georgia, these people would have to drive to Florida to go to pain clinics. So we went and found a pain clinic in Jacksonville that was seeing like 150 patients a day. We rented a hotel across the street from the pain clinic. We had walkie-talkies, binoculars, and cars, two different cars. Somebody would be up in the hotel watching the pain clinic watching how many people were going in. Somebody else would be in a car on the street, and as somebody would pull out of the pain clinic, like let's say it was a blue Ford Ranger or a blue Ford Explorer, I'd get a call on the walkie-talkie and say, okay, blue Ford Ranger pulling out. So blue Ford Ranger would pull out. I would chase him down, wait till we get to a red light, jump out of the car, and be like, hey. But we would look for out-of-plate states like Kentucky, Ohio, things like that. So knowing they had to drive a distance. And we would tell them, hey, next time you need to go see a doctor, instead of driving all the way to Florida, you can stop in Savannah, Georgia, right off I-95, off I-90, and we can make sure that you're able to see our doctor, and our doctor is used to writing these types of prescriptions. Save yourself some money, save yourself some time. So we started doing this about 6 weeks before we opened. And the day that we opened, it was just busy. It was like the advertising worked. But it was shady, man. We used to walk around in parking lots and hotels at nighttime looking for out-of-state cars, going, that looks like a pill mill car, that looks like a pill mill car, and putting flyers and shit on these people's cars. We did that for weeks, living out of hotel rooms. So it's pretty messed up that I allowed myself to drop and stoop to that level and make these types of decisions. Those Suboxone clinics ought to be shut down now. Yeah, Suboxone and what's the other one? Methadone clinics. Those are, their selling purpose of damn it. Sorry, guys. Let me turn this ringer off. Their selling purpose is they try to say, oh, this helps people, for opiates. It helps them. It helps them. Block the opioid factor or the receptors, but it's just another addiction because you get off of heroin or you get off of these pills and you get onto Suboxone or methadone, but now you need to get off of Suboxone or methadone and you've got the same type of withdrawal issues when that happens. So it's very, very here, you want a biscuit? She's hungry. Gotta feed her real quick or else she's gonna sing the whole time. All right, good girl. So yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's a crazy world. And now after I've gone through all of that and I hear about pain clinics that are still open, it's like, why would anybody in their right mind work at a pain clinic? Dan, why did you feed my city oxys? Yeah, no shit. That's what I did. Exactly. That's the question people should be asking me. Why did you do it? Honestly, I didn't care. That's the real answer is I didn't care. B, I never lived that lifestyle. I never understood how bad in the epidemic of pills and how destructive it really was until I worked at the pain clinic and saw the people coming in every day. I was like, holy shit, these people are like driving crazy miles. And they look so dirty, like they haven't showered. Some of them didn't even have shoes on. Some of them couldn't. I had that one guy came in. Can't remember his name. He always just called me Dan. Hi, Dan. It's from Kentucky. All right, Dan. Couldn't talk. Couldn't spell. Couldn't even write his name. I mean, zero education. I had to like fill out his intake form for him. God, what was his name? Oh, it was Barry, but he couldn't even say his name properly. When he told us his name, he was like, my name's Bayer. It's like, your name's what? My name's Bayer. So his wife or girlfriend said it's Barry, B-A-R-R-Y. And I'm like, oh, Barry. Yeah, that's what I said, Bayer. It's like, man, you're saying Bear. You're telling me your name is Bear. And these are the type of people that would come in there. It was fucking crazy. It was crazy to see it. People used to come in there and give me moonshine. They would offer me money. It's like, I get it. You're giving me all these gifts and I can't do anything extra for you. It's like the doctor's going to write you what he's going to write you. I'm not the one writing the prescriptions. But these people, man, they wanted their drugs. And then they had sponsors. Sponsors were people that would drive them. Like you'd have one person driving with like 10 people in the car. The sponsor would pay for each person's doctor visit, which was like $250 a pop. And he would pay to get the prescriptions filled. But the deal is the patients in the car had to give him, it was something like 50 or 70% of the amount of pills. Because the street value on the pills was so ridiculously high that he would take those pills and go sell them and make thousands and thousands of dollars off of, the money that he had to lay out. So it was a it was an awesome investment for him, but we knew that was happening and we still continued to do it. So there was a lot of things that I should have known and not looked the other way and cared about that I didn't care about. Not to mention the day I gave the undercover cop prescription pills was probably not my best moment. I've got that on a video. You know, I'm so ashamed of my past that I haven't put this stuff out there yet, but maybe I will. When they released my discovery to me, there was whatever, fucking 15 CDs or whatever. On one of the CDs, it was the undercover footage of the narcotics officer undercover coming in, talking to me, trying to get pain medication. We kept telling him no, 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 no. But we had found a couple of pills that somebody had left behind in one of the patient rooms. We didn't know whose they were, so we stuck them in a bottle. There was like 4, it was either oxycodone or roxycodone, I can't remember, and we stuck them up in the cupboard. And when this guy came in, he kept asking for pain medication. We kept telling him no, and there's a whole other story to this that I'll tell you later. But in the end, I was like, well, you know, we've got these pills that are just laying around. I can give you those if you want. And it's all on video. The guy's got me on video. I walk out, hand them to him, and that was what they used to put the nail in my coffin. Because that, they had me red-handed. There was no, you know, they had me doing that. That one, they had me giving a distribution charge. And there was no way to avoid the distribution charge. It was impossible because they had me on tape giving somebody pills. So maybe we'll release that video. What do you think? You guys want to see the video? I'm afraid the feds are going to be like, oh, you can't show that. But fuck you. You guys gave it to me. I'm going to show it. Heroin is bad right now in Kentucky. And I mean, heroin's bad everywhere. It's really bad in Florida. Look, Florida is the recovery capital of the United States. Delray Beach, Florida is the recovery capital of the United States. And it's a drug haven. These rich kids go there because their parents are like, oh, send them to South sunny Palm Beach, Florida. And these kids relapse more and more there than they do anywhere else. So if you're getting ready to go into rehab or you've got kids and you want to send them somewhere, do not send them to Florida. Because it sounds great. They're going to give you this awesome fucking, you know, $50,000 pitch, but your kid's going to come back strung out more than when they went in. Yeah, I think I'm going to make the video about my arrest and how that all went down, but I'm going to post it onto VidMe. So if you guys haven't checked out VidMe yet, here's my page on VidMe. You need to go subscribe and like my channel on VidMe because that's where that video is going to go. So, I don't know about posting that on YouTube. I'm a little scared. I'm a little chicken. I'm like Emma. I'm like a little bird. A little baby bird. But anyway, guys, we're well overdue our hour here. If we want other people to watch this video, they're not going to do it. Do me a favor. Before you get out of the room, man, tap the damn thumbs up sign and hit the bell and make sure you subscribe. And after this video renders and it shows up, come back and leave a comment. Post a comment for people to see and tell people, hey, this is what he talked about today. So make sure you stay tuned for this ridiculously long video because rdapdan talks about some fun shit today. So remember, if you're looking for help, you're getting ready to go to prison, you don't know where to turn, not only can we help you with all of your personal narratives, character reference letters, making sure you're prepped up for the PSR, making sure you got the ability to get into the residential drug addiction program, but we can also immensely help you with peace of mind, sleeping at night, dealing with what's about to come, focusing on taking responsibility for your actions, making these consequences mean something. That's what we get to do at federal prison time, and that's why I love my job. It's not just because we get to write letters. It's because we get to make people feel better. We're like a feel-good company. rdapdan, the feel-good company. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Do something great. Have fun. Take responsibility. Go talk to somebody. Smile. All that fun stuff. I love every single one of you. I will see you guys on Monday. And until then, everybody stay real. I'm rdapdan, and peace.